Well, good afternoon, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Tuesday, April 14th, here, Up to Speed Live. Uh, Guest for you today, we've got Hans and Christy giving updates, and we'll also be joined by Craig Silliman, who is the leader of our public policy team, as well as our global real estate, supply chain, chief administrative officer, does a lot of things here. So happy to have him on. I want to start, though, with some images that caught my eye the past couple of days, if we can go ahead and roll that. We talked about a little bit of this yesterday. The folks down in Monroe, Louisiana, and across the South just walloped by those tornadoes, and our team out there responding. Even Trent Griggs here taking the time to get a community connected and then help someone plug their tire. So I mean, going above and beyond. And then down in Miami, we've got folks from the team. Giovanni Castro took part in a food drive organized by Feeding South Florida, helping nearly 2,000 families. These are the stories that are really keeping me going and reminding us as to why it is the work that we do. But we'll talk about a lot of things today. Let's start, though, with Hans for his daily update. Hans, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon and hi V-teamers. Happy to be here again and talk a little bit what's happening. I mean, first of all, on the network side, as you can see here in the US, we have a tornado coming through here from the southern parts that has made severe impacts. Our team is on the ground and seeing that the network is up, as we always run to a crisis and see that it works. So, of course, our thoughts are with the people that are being impacted, because this is yet another tough one. I'm not sure how many of these natural disasters we have had the last couple of years. And right now, of course, we are in yet another one, which is this COVID-19 and the pandemic. On that side, I remind you always about health and safety in these times. We see now different countries, different places starting to breed some optimism. And the only thing I want to say is that remember to continue with all the safety and health rules that we have. Social distancing, all of that is so important on this time. And of course, using the gears that our employees have in the front line and keeping all those rules. That's important right now. So because fighting this pandemic will require perseverance of all of us in this, and some of us working from home will stay home as well. So that's, I just want to remind you today when read and see mail, but of course, Christy and the team is on this every day, and if there's some questions, doubts you have, you always have the Emergency Operations Center that can answer questions basically 24/7, wherever you are in the world, because there are different places in the world which are in different phases of this pandemic. So think about that. Tomorrow we're going to have or the day after that, some information about the network. So I will come back to that. But I can only say that I'm thanking our team in the field for what they're doing and keeping up the network. And we talked yesterday about the innovation we're doing in the field, and we got a lot of great positive feedback about how we continue to innovate in times like this, to see that we actually can do delivery or home installation, but not go into the homes with innovation we have done together in this company. So that's great to see. And we need more of that. We need to continue to strive for excellence and improving with the circumstances we have around us. On the social side, Verizon Media is doing a lot of things today. And first of all, they are launching a new site called Yahoo Life. And Yahoo Life is a site focused on well-being, health, exercising. So that's going to be great. Very much right now when it's so important to think about well-being and all of that, mental health. That's the focus of Yahoo Life. They also have decided, Verizon Media, to donate $10 million in advertising inventory for public health and mental health in this COVID-19 environment. So we really think that's important, and our Verizon Media team is doing great efforts here to see that we have right content out and content that is really timely in these times. We also have some Pay It Forward tonight, and I know that Jeremy longing for explain who's going to be on tonight, but it's gaming tonight. So it's a League of Legends. So he will come back to that. Finally, also we continue work as business as usual, and our teams are continue to work. If it's a network team, the consumer, the business, media team, or our staff function, all are trying to work the business as usual. And we are launching today, or not launching, we are announcing today a new 5G phone together with OnePlus. And that's in our efforts to focus on 5G, and our teams are rolling out networks. Remember, Kyle was on this live webcast last week and saying that we continue to roll out fiber and 5G. That's so important to our strategy. It's important to our customers. And Ronan and the team are today announcing a new partnership with OnePlus 5G phone. A lot of great technical improvements on that one, I can tell you. So you can find out. That's a little bit of an update, Jeremy. Back to you.
Hans, thank you so much. Do appreciate it, and we'll hear more from George at the end of the show about that new device there. Want to move over to Craig Silliman now. Give you a little background on Craig earlier as to what he does. So obviously the work that he and his team are doing covers a lot of ground. So I want to get an update from him and check in with him in general. Craig, how are you?
Great, doing great, Jeremy. Thanks so much. It's great to be with you here today. And, I'm incredibly proud of the work that the team is doing across our organization. So appreciate the chance to share a little bit of it with you. So what I want to do is just kind of spin around the horn on the different parts of the org, talk about a few of the things we've been working on for the past few weeks. Starting with the legal team, we've been side by side with Christy day after day as we work through the legal issues involved in all the policy changes that Christy's been announcing, whether it's work from home or home garaging, changes to the 401k plan and the health plan, et cetera. Of course, also working with the business units, just keep the business moving forward day after day. On the regulatory team, just in the US alone, we have over 300 executive orders at the state, county, and city level that affect how we can operate out there in the field. So we're dealing with those as they change. We get new ones every day. We've built a big database working closely with Kyle's team where the teams have access to every single one of those executive orders, our interpretation of them, but also have the ability to provide feedback on how they're being interpreted by the local officials, because sometimes the local officials may not understand what those orders mean, or they may be implementing them in different ways in different areas. So the local teams provide us that feedback, and then the state government affairs team go back to the public officials and work out any discrepancies. So great partnership there across the state government affairs teams and the network teams. On the real estate side, back at the end of January, before the first COVID-19 case showed up in the US, we started doing deep disinfectant cleaning in all of our office spaces. Since then, we've really been in a rapid deployment mode where anytime we have a situation where someone tests positive for COVID-19 who's been in one of our offices recently, we get in quickly, we do a deep remediation clean so the building can be turned over again. We've cleaned over 200 buildings that way just in the last couple of weeks. On the supply chain side, I'm incredibly proud of the distribution centers and the job they've done to just perform flawlessly. We have distribution centers that move all the network equipment out to the field so that the network team can continue the build. And then we have distribution centers that move all of the devices either to stores or directly to customers for direct fulfillment. We actually had a couple of cases where we had COVID-19 situations. We had to shut down, deep clean the entire warehouse and then ramp back up. We did that in each situation without losing any flow, either of devices or network equipment. Supply chain more generally, we've really evolved over the last couple of months. When this started, it was really focused on dealing with device disruptions as all the factories were shutting down in China. As it's evolved in the last couple of weeks, the focus has really been on personal protective equipment, PPE, which we're all talking a lot about these days. You may be aware that 70 countries around the world have actually prohibited exports of PPE. So countries are all holding on to their supplies for their own national use. So we've had to get pretty creative here on the hand sanitizer front. We've actually bought equipment and set up so that we are producing at scale hand sanitizer that meets regulatory requirements. On the facial covering side, there are a lot of different facial coverings that are appropriate for different situations. from a supply chain perspective, our objective has been to procure hundreds of thousands of each of those different kinds of facial coverings, get those centrally pooled in our warehouses so that we're then in a position to distribute them out to those who need a certain kind of facial covering for a certain type of situation. So we've gotten all set up on that front. From a cybersecurity perspective, we're watching the endpoints as so many of us are working from home. And again, reminder to you, there are a lot of bad guys out there trying to take advantage of the work from home environment. Please be thoughtful about what you click on. There are phishing attacks going on all the time. And then finally, on the physical security side, as we have shut down different retail stores and different of our office buildings, we've had to be constantly flexing and shifting so that we can keep our eyes on those stores, make sure they aren't vulnerable to break-ins while they're closed, people going after the inventory. The inventory is secure, but bad guys may not know that. And the final thing on the security side, something a month ago I never would have dreamed that we would have been dealing with, but some of you may have seen out there on social media this absurd conspiracy theory that 5G is somehow responsible for COVID-19. This has zero scientific basis. It is an absolutely crazy theory, zero factual basis at all. But unfortunately, there are people who believe these things. And even more unfortunately, there are people who are willing to act on them. So we've been monitoring social media and we're working with local law enforcement all across our footprint to lean into this, make sure we are ahead of anyone making threats against any of our network facilities there. So quick spin around, Jeremy. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. I'm really proud of what the whole girl organization's been doing during this extraordinary time. I'd like to pivot a little bit. In a minute, we're going to go to the UK and visit with Chloe Kosh, one of our VBG colleagues there. Just as we lead into this, I just want to note, a week or so ago, Jeremy read a portion from an email that I had sent to my organization. I didn't expect that it would fall into the hands of our intrepid communications team and get circulated as it did. But the reason I wrote it to my org originally was that I was getting a lot of feedback that people were pretty stressed about the work from home environment. And particularly what they were saying was they were having trouble maintaining that professional office demeanor and keeping all those kind of home and life distractions out, the dogs barking, the kids screaming. And my advice to them was, don't try and keep your home out of the frame. Don't try and keep your life out of the frame. Because right now there's so many things that are hard about working from home that we're struggling with. And part of it is that physical separation. But in the midst of all that, that means it's all the more important for us to connect as human beings. And while there are things that are difficult about the work from home environment, there's also a gift. And the gift I think that we can give to each other is letting our colleagues into our homes, into our families, and really finding that deeper connection as human beings that's going to bring us out of this as a stronger team, stronger company. So with that, I want to move over to Chloe Kosh, who's one of our VVG colleagues in the UK, who's going to invite us into her home and her family. Please run the video.
Hi everybody, hope you're doing well under the present circumstances with COVID-19. Husband and I are working at home, opposite ends of the dining room table. I think he's eyeing up the garage as an escape route if the sound of my voice gets on his nerves too much. I'm also at home here with two new very important co-workers. Here in the UK, schools officially closed. Very importantly as well, I think they're going to eat us out of house and home. The last snack count consumed was 8,321. The fear of running out of food is very real in this house. But all joking aside, we're just working together as a family to get through this. We have to find a new balance and a new norm. What am I hearing from customers? At the moment, I'm hearing the need for help, obviously, in accommodating some very urgent business challenges. And that's our forte. You know, we're running to their challenges and we'll continue to support them in that respect. What I'm finding vital at the moment is the daily messages from our senior leadership team, Those updates are vital for us to pass on to our customers, to give us some dialogue, some unified dialogue with our customers in terms of how Verizon are getting through this. I think we all need to be patient. We're dealing with unprecedented situations here, so to be patient and understanding why our customers might be pressing us for information is absolutely important. Finally, we won't waffle on anymore, my co-workers are starving. Stay safe, everybody. Please remain collaborative, looking after our customers, and don't eat all the snacks. Take care.
Yeah, that's important to know there. Don't eat all of the snacks. I think I'm kind of guilty of that here in my house, if I can be honest with everybody. But thanks to Craig for the update. We'll come back to him with some questions here shortly. And thanks for allowing us into your homes every day. I know a lot of folks are doing their daily business around this daily broadcast, so I certainly appreciate that. So I want to get over to Christy now for some updates and some new news today. Christy, how are you?
I'm great, Jeremy. Thanks so much, and thanks for having me on the broadcast today. I wanted to pick up on some of the things you started the broadcast with. So obviously around the country, we face some extreme weather this week. And so I just want to remind our employees, we have the V2V Emergency Relief Fund, where Verizon employees are contributing money into a fund that can be allocated to other Verizon employees who are affected by or displaced by natural disasters or personal emergencies. I just think it's another great example of the Verizon family that we have here among all of us as a group of employees. Another highlight linked to that is our Verizon response team was asked to supply communications for a temporary hospital that had to be stood up in Kentucky's Expo Center in Louisiana. So I'd love to play this video. We get to hear from V-teamer Jason Mitchell, who spent the weekend with these heroic men and women as they prepare to work on the front line.
Hey, good afternoon. Jason Mitchell with the Verizon response team. Down in Kentucky at the Exposition Hall, we're helping set up a temporary hospital that's going to hold hundreds of patients. So this is the pod 1, and then you've got pod 2, 3, and 4, 5. Currently, we have deployed a few Cradle Points, MCC, or a mobile command center. It's going to allow them to use OneTalk for their folks. We're also deploying smartphones and Seagos to help with faxing capabilities. And we're also planning to deploy, actually just finished deploying some phones, some smartphones that the patients can actually use. This is the collaboration between the Air National Guard and the Kentucky National Guard. So a lot of heroic folks and men and women in uniform doing some great stuff on the front line. So hope everyone's being safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
That was a great video, and what a great example of our V-teamers out there helping in times of crisis, in this case, building up a temporary medical center. So reminder, if you have any damage, you could go online, apply to the V-Fund. It's just a great tool that's out there. You can also sign up to contribute to the V-Fund. A couple other things I want to highlight. So you heard from Craig about, kind of how do we operate in this new normal and bring all of those things into this work environment. And we heard that great video from our team in the UK. So what we do know is many of our managers and our employees are reaching out saying, give us tips and training and teach us other ways that we could be more effective operating in this remote environment. So I just want to remind everybody, you could go out to the Learning Portal 2.0, and we have a curriculum that we've built out so people can sign up for and take training on things such as leading your remote team in order to be able to master some management fundamentals, including communication and engagement during disruption, as well as how to do teamwork and build teams remotely. So a couple of great things out there for you on the Learning Portal that'll really help address some of the teams raising their hands saying, help us learn effective tips to be more effective teams, or managers saying, hey, give me some more tools for how to manage remotely. And then finally, I just want to highlight something that I think is very exciting. Obviously, we're being faced with unprecedented times with the pandemic and the challenges presenting worldwide. And we've seen many companies and employees affected by it around the world. So a number of employers have come together to form something called People Plus Work Connect. And Verizon is one of the companies helping lead this so that HR teams around the world can quickly activate and hopefully create a way in which we can help minimize the labor disruption that's happening as a result of the coronavirus. So I think it's just another example of us playing a role, not only serving our stakeholders internal to the company, our employees, but also our societal stakeholders. And so I look forward to partnering with others around the world to help them with this. Thanks, Jeremy. Back to you.
Thanks, Christy, and that's great work. Seeing how we're breaking down these barriers, and we're in this together with other companies as well. Hey, going back to Craig real quick for a quick question. He mentioned the supply chain and the challenges and how they overcame those. Craig, one, how did the team do it, and what are some of the things that you learned that you'll carry forward as we go back into the future?
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. As far as how the team has done it, well, first of all, it's been round-the-clock work, and I really hand it to the team as they've just worked tirelessly. But secondly, it's essentially not leaving any stone unturned, throwing out the rule book and going away from everything you ever assumed was possible. So a great example was the hand sanitizer. There was not we didn't generally centrally procure hand sanitizer. Generally, if you're in a local store, you just bought it from your local Staples, and that made a lot of sense. When this crisis started erupting, all of a sudden, as we all know in our personal lives, hand sanitizer wasn't to be found anywhere. We realized very quickly it was going to be very hard to procure it through normal supply chains. So the team thought, look, we can make it ourselves. We just need to buy the equipment, scale up. So it was that kind of thinking that we've really had to just work all the way through. And that continues to this day on both the real estate and the supply chain side. And going forward, we're really thinking about a completely changed environment. For the past couple of decades, supply chains have moved toward globally integrated, just-in-time delivery type situations, and largely centered on China. As we come out of this, we know there's going to be a lot more friction in global transportation networks. There's going to be a lot more inspections and checks. And we also know that things are going to increasingly move away from China. So we're already thinking about the supply chain for the future, what it means for inventory levels, things like that. Hans has really been encouraging, pushing all of us, not just to drive the business on a day-to-day, but to think, what are the opportunities for us as we move forward coming out of this? And on supply chain, I think there are a lot of new things that we've learned and will continue to move forward with, Jeremy.
Good. Thank you for that, Craig. Kind of going over to Hans now for a question before he wraps us up today. And then again, Craig, thanks for joining us and giving us a real empathetic view of how we get through all of this together. Another plug for folks out there, go on the web and look for Katie's blog on Mountain Dew and parenthood. If you want a real dose of reality of what it's like to be in a home with a couple of young kids, it's a great read. So thank you for sharing that, Katie. But Hans, some folks want to know how you and your family are doing, both here and abroad. That comes from Peter over in Europe. And then how you wrap up today for us, please.
Thank you for the question. I think I have my family here in New Jersey, so my daughter and my son is here, so that's great. I've been home for a couple of weeks, studying from home. I think then I have my relatives and my mother, etc., in Sweden, of course, very far away. It's hard this time, but I try to do as I preach. I have my calling to my mother, my text, my mail to her as frequent as I can, and to my brother and his family as well. That becomes very important to me because they're extremely far away, and of course there are things happening on both sides every day here. So I try to stay very connected to them, but they're all doing well. So thank you for the question. When it comes to summing up this day, I think the theme today, listening to Craig and to Christy, I think it's the rebalancing we're coming into right now. Christy talked about the second phase. The first phase is the crisis management. Now we're coming into the rebalancing, working business as usual. Of course, taking care of the crisis, because that's not going to go away anytime soon. But it's also to continue to have a normal life, and it's good to see that how people are working from home, how they adjust it. But also remembering what Craig talked about and what Verizon Media Group is doing is the well-being, because it's a totally new way for us to live, many of us, at home much more, or if you're in the front lines, you're out there meeting people in very tough situation or vulnerable situations. So all of us need to have a little bit more of that well-being and thinking about it. And Jeremy usually is extremely good talking about reach out to friends, colleagues, all the time to see that you have a constant dialogue. I ask you all for that. As a leadership team right now, we also are sort of coming into the second phase. As Craig talked about, we're trying to work much more about the future. What does the new normal look like? What do we need to do? How do we secure our safe and healthy for our employees at the same time thinking on the future? So I think we all are pivoting on that. And I think that as leaders in this organization, it's important we do that because we want to come out of this even as an even stronger company. Even though right now, when you sometimes look around, it's hard to see that we're going to get out of it. But we will one day, for sure. It's just going to take some time. And I want to remind you what I said in the beginning. Sometimes you read news and of course, some positive news, which is great to hear. Still, all the precautions of our work principles, especially for the field force, need to be continue to adhere to because it's so important. And for all others of us, we have our rules of quarantine or social distancing. Don't forget that right now. Continue with it because that's the only way that we can actually get the see an end of this. So once again, tonight, Jeremy, what's going to be up for the Pay It Forward game?
So tonight we've got DeMonte and baseball star Hunter Pence. They're going up against one another there.
Great.
League of Legends, I believe, is the game. Can't leave our homes, but it doesn't mean we can't come together to support small business. So make sure you tune in there and tweet Pay It Forward Live so that we are giving some support to those small businesses in our communities. And before that starts tonight, where you can catch it on FiOS channel 501, or you can go to Twitter on the Verizon handle to see that. You can tune in this afternoon to hear a conversation with Krista Bourne and solution specialist Vanessa Houston today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, right on our VZ Up to Speed Instagram channel. Best viewing experience. Watch that on your mobile device. Certainly appreciate all the work that everybody is doing out there, including our retail folks. So a quick look into what their days are like now. But that's what we've got for today and tonight. Earlier, Hans mentioned the new OnePlus 8 5G UW that will be available online at VerizonWireless.com starting April 29th. I want to leave you today with our good friend George for a quick look at what that device is and how it works. So have a good day. We'll see you again tomorrow.
It's officially official. The OnePlus 8 5G UW is coming to Verizon, signaling the start of a beautiful new relationship between the nation's most awarded network and one of the coolest smartphone makers in the world. I'm so psyched to finally get my hands on one of their flagship phones, even if I can't leave my home to play with it. Let's see what we have around the house to test this bad boy out. Right out of the box, the OnePlus 8 5G UW will turn heads with its ultra-bright 6.55-inch display that features a variety of HDR10 formats, making it perfect for watching your favorite videos at home. A 90 Hz refresh rate balances battery life and performance, and is perfect for gamers, and its seamless glass sits great in your hand. Under the hood, it sports the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 processor that connects you to Verizon's 5G ultra-wideband network and our 5G low-band network coming later this year. The OnePlus 8 5G UW is the lowest priced 5G smartphone available on Verizon. It gives you access to previously unheard of download speeds, allowing you to easily work remotely and download files, movies, and games in seconds. On the back, OnePlus loaded the phone up with 3 cameras to accommodate all your artistic needs, including a 16-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera, a 48-megapixel main camera, and a dedicated macro camera. What's more, OnePlus and Verizon present Crackables 2.0, a mobile crypto puzzle game available for free starting today at crackables.oneplus.com. The finale will be live streamed on May 7th, and 10 finalists will get the opportunity to win $10,000 for themselves and $10,000 for charity supporting those affected by COVID-19. You can order the OnePlus 8 5G UW online starting April 29th for $33.33 a month on Verizon device payment. Visit VerizonWireless.com for more information on our great promos and additional phone specs.